Good morning, ma'am. My name is Meghanath Pawansai from ACE Department B section. I'm here to share about my concept video. My topic is about analyzing the audience. Analyzing the audience. Audience centeredness. Keeping the keeping the audience foremost in mind at every step of speech preparation and presentation. That means keeping our audience in mind and practicing our presentation well. Objective is to gain a desired response from the listeners. Example, do not have to compromise your beliefs. Do not use your unethical tactics to achieve your goal. Audience centeredness. Keep in mind these questions to be audience centered. To whom am I asking? What do I want them to know, believe on, do as a result of my speech? What is the most effective way of composing and presenting my speech to accomplish that aim? So we have to keep these questions in our mind uh, when we are giving speech. So this picture represents the audience listening to the speaker. This picture is from our auditorium. The best your classmates as an audience. The best classroom speeches are those that take the audience seriously as speaker, speaking in public or at any other occasion or presentation. This shows the best example for practicing our speech. Uh, Assuming that we are a speaker and our friends as an audience, so we can practice well and present well in the auditorium. I mean, in the audience, in the presence of audience. The psychology of audience. The speaker must make the audience choose to pay attention. Every speech contains two messages, one sent by a speaker, one received by a listener. What the speaker says is filtered through the listener's frame of reference. Listeners want to hear about things that are meaningful to them. How does this affect you as a speaker? Listeners will hear and judge based on what they already know and believe. You must relate your message to your listeners. This is the psychology of the audience. That means we have to keep these points in our mind while we are speaking our speech. And next slide coming to demographic audience analysis. Demographic audience analysis. Audience analysis that focuses on demographic factors such as age, gender, religion, orientation, group membership, and racial, ethnic, or cultural background. These are two steps of demographic audience analysis. Identifying the gender demographic features of your audience, gauging the importance of those features to a particular situation. When used improperly, it can lead to ste- stereotyping. Stereotyping creating an oversimplified image of a particular group of people, usually by assuming that all members of a group are alike. So, demographic audience analysis means we have to select or speak, we have to speak or speech according to the all these base categories. We have to keep in mind all these base categories such that all listens to our topic. This picture shows the example for the demographic audience analysis. This is a just example slide. Coming to the next slide. This slide shows the in-depth of demographic audience analysis. Consider the following demographic factors. Age, speaking to an older audience versus an younger audience. Gender, take in current gender attitude and practices. Be aware of both gender differences and similarities. Avoid generalizations. sexual orientation. Be mindful of language examples and other elements that may exclude listeners with same sex partners. Religion. Current events around the world shows religious views are among the most emotionally charged of all human concerns. There is great diversity within different faiths. Consider the religious orientations of your listeners, racial, ethnic, and cultural background. Racial, ethnic, and cultural background. Some listeners may be perspective that will affect how they are listening to the speech group member. Knowing the groups or membership your audience is in may give excellent views about your listeners and interests and attitudes. So this slide shows the in-depth meaning of the demographic audience analysis. Situational audience analysis. Situational audience analysis. Audience analysis that focuses on situational factors such as size of the audience, the physical setting of the speech, and the disposition of the audience towards towards the topic, the speaker, and the occasion. So this slide means we have to speak to the audience according to the based on the situation also. Consider the following demographic factors. Size. The larger the audience, the more formal your presentation must be. Audience size may affect your language, choice of requests, and use of visual aids. Physical setting. Know in advance of any difficulties in physical settings. Do everything you can to control the influence of physical setting. If the physical setting is not desirable, work hard to adapt the aspects. So this slide shows the situational audience analysis, disposition towards the topic, interest. So this slide comes to the some barriers like this. So interest. Assess the interest in advance and adjust your speech accordingly. So we have to be more interested and advance and adjust to the situationals. If interest is not there, take special steps to involve the audience. Knowledge. Often a strong correlation between the interest in a topic and knowledge on it. Audiences like learning about a subject that interests them. Your ability to talk more technically or more trivially on a topic depends on your audience knowledge of the subject. Attribute. Attribute. A frame of mind in a favor of or opposite to a person, policy, belief, institution, etc. If you know in advance the prevailing attitude among members of your audience, you can adjust your speech to address the concerns or answer their objections. Position towards the speaker. The audience responds to the speaker and colored by the perception of the speaker. The more competent, honest, and thoughtful the listeners perceive to be, the more they will respond positively to the message. Disposition towards the occasion. Do not exploit a situation for your own purposes with a speech. The occasion will dictate how long a speech should be. So this slide shows that we have to we have to analyze well the audience and the topic must be in a good manner so that the audience will not get bored. And this picture represents that when putting one together, keeping following in mind, plan the questionnaire carefully to exhibit preciously the information you need. Make sure the questions are clear and unambitious. Keep the questionnaire relatively brief. So these are some points to remember all this. So these are the some points to speaker so that while the speaker is asking the questions toward the audience, the that person should keep all these points in his mind. These are two stages in the process of audience adaptation. Audience adaptation before the speech. Remember who the listeners will be. Access how your audience is likely to respond to what you say in your speech. Adjust what to say to make it clear, appropriate, and convincing as possible. Anticipate how your audience will respond. So these points. So by these points we can. By these points we can analyze our audience while they are interested or uninterested with our speech. Audience adoption during the speech. If something unexpected happens, do not panic. Modify based on the challenges and continue. So while we are giving the speech in our, I mean, giving the speech, if there is an unexpected unexpected panic happen, then we should not afraid or feel panic. We have to solve that situation like challengingly. Examples: projector is broken. Your time is more or less than planned. Someone else have your topic. So these examples. So when these examples are occurred, we should not panic and we have to overcome those problems with like facing our challenges. Thank you, ma'am.